Welcome back, in final part, which is part 10 of BBC. Throughout its existence, the BBC has faced numerous accusations regarding many topics: the Iraq War, politics, ethics and religion, as well as funding and staffing.
It also has been involved in numerous controversies because of its coverage of specific news stories and programming.
In October 2014, the BBC Trust issued the BBC Complaints Framework, outlining complaints and appeals procedures.
However, the regulatory oversight of the BBC may be transferred to Ofcom.
The British House of Commons Select Committee on Culture, Media and Sport recommended in its report, The Future of the BBC, that Ofcom should become the final arbiter of complaints made about the BBC. The BBC has long faced accusations of liberal and left-wing bias.
Accusations of a bias against the premiership of Margaret Thatcher and the Conservative Party were often made against the BBC by members of that government, with Margaret Thatcher herself considering the broadcaster's news coverage to be biased and irresponsible.
In 2011, Peter Sissons, a main news presenter at the BBC from 1989 to 2009, said that, at the core of the BBC, in its very DNA, is a way of thinking that is firmly of the left.
Another BBC presenter, Andrew Marr, commented that the BBC is not impartial or neutral. It has a liberal bias, not so much a party political bias. It is better expressed as a cultural liberal bias.
Former BBC director Roger Mosey classified it as liberal defensive.
In 2022, the BBC chairman, Richard Sharp, acknowledged that the BBC does have a liberal bias and added that the institution is fighting against it.
Conversely, writing for The Guardian, the left-wing columnist Owen Jones stated that the truth is the BBC is stacked full of right-wingers, and cited as an example of bias its employment of ultra-Thatcherite Andrew Neil as a politics presenter.
A 2018 opinion poll by BMG Research found that 40% of the British public think that the BBC is politically partisan, with a nearly even split between those that believe it leans to the left or right.
Paul Mason, a former economics editor of the BBC's Newsnight programme, criticised the BBC as unionist in relation to its coverage of the Scottish independence referendum campaign and said its senior employees tended to give a neoliberal point of view.
The BBC has also been characterized as a pro-monarchist institution.
The BBC was accused of propaganda by conservative journalist and author Toby Ian due to what he believed to be an anti-Brexit approach, which included a day of live programming on migration. Conspiracy theorists in Iran, led by Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, have regarded the BBC as an instrument of British political machinations.
The Minister of Culture Hossein Safar Arandi declared BBC Persian TV legal in 2009, citing the BBC's history of creating chaos in Iran and its efforts to set the various strata of Iranian society against each other.
In 2011, Intelligence Minister Haydar Maslehi said the BBC's real identity was Bahaian Zionist, and he accused it of helping direct the 2009 Iranian presidential election protests.
BBC Persian journalists have faced online attacks allegedly linked to Iran's government, which has led the BBC to file 4 complaints to the UN addressing the issue.
A 2021 poll from the Center for International and Security Studies at Maryland had fewer respondents in Iran rating news from the BBC as accurate, compared to news from domestic TV and social media. In 2008, the BBC was criticized by some for referring to the men who carried out the November 2008 Mumbai attacks as gunmen rather than terrorists.
In protest against the use of the word gunman by the BBC, journalist Mubashar Jad M.J. Akbar refused to take part in an interview following the Mumbai terror attacks and criticized the BBC's reportage of the incident.
British parliamentarian Stephen Pound supported these claims, referring to the BBC's whitewashing of the terror attacks as the worst sort of mealy-mouthed posturing. It is desperation to avoid causing offense, which ultimately causes more offense to everyone. A BBC World Service newsreader who presented The Daily Show, produced for Kyrgyzstan, was claimed to have participated in an opposition movement with a goal of overthrowing the government led by President Kurbanbek Bakiyev.
The BBC presenter resigned from his post in 2010 once the allegations of his participation in the revolution became public.
In February 2021, following Ofcom's decision to cancel the license of China Global Television Network, CGTN, and the BBC's coverage of the persecution of ethnic minority Uyghurs in China, the Chinese authorities banned BBC World News from broadcasting in the country.
According to a statement from China's National Radio and Television Administration, NRTA, BBC World News reports on China infringe the principles of truthfulness and impartiality in journalism, and also harm China's national interests.
Radio Television Hong Kong, RTHK, suspended BBC World News the day after the ban took effect on the mainland. In 2023, the BBC's offices in New Delhi were searched by officials from the Income Tax Department.
The move came after the BBC released a documentary on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
The documentary investigated Modi's role in the 2002 Gujarat riots, which resulted in more than 1,000 casualties.
The Indian government banned viewing of the documentary in India and restricted clips of the documentary on social media.
While the BBC accused the Modi government of press intimidation by referring to reports of various organizations such as Amnesty International and Reporters Without Borders, in June 2023, the BBC acknowledged that they had underpaid tax liabilities in India. That's it for this episode today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications for more great contents, and see you in episode 11.